Alert day conditions across southern Wisconsin. It's a breezy one with some snow, and we got possibly even more snow on the way. Details in the full forecast.
Plus, millions of Americans traveling for the Thanksgiving holiday today. What AAA and the FAA are saying about this year's traffic. This is News 3 Now at noon. And thank you so much for joining us. I'm Arman Rahman. Josh has the day off. Well, as thousands of people prepare to travel for Thanksgiving, it appears the weather could cause some issues in the air and on the road, from gusty winds to chilly temperatures and the possibility of some snow. The First Warn Weather Team has been busy tracking everything you need to know for the upcoming holiday. Or, I guess, Blaze, maybe what you don't want to hear, though.
I was going to say, this is kind of coming at like the worst time. Not only are we dealing with the wind and the light snow now, but, and we'll talk about it in the full forecast, we could be dealing with another system as we're all returning or sending loved ones back from the holidays. So today, our alert day is mainly for strong winds. The snow is going to be minimal in terms of accumulation, probably a dusting to maybe at best an inch here as we head into the afternoon. We'll take it into Fond du Lac and head south to the Milwaukee areas. That's where we're seeing the heaviest snow right now, up near Fond du Lac, south into Waupun, south into Mayville, Addison, right along 41. We also find a little bit of that snow activity into Pewaukee, Waukesha, New Berlin, back into our neck of the woods, Jefferson, Rockdale, southeastern parts of Dane County. That's where we are seeing some of that lingering snow. We also find a little snow activity up towards Viroqua, extending south into Richland Center. But we do have that wind advisory in effect through most of the afternoon. Let me get the latest on that for folks tuning on in. That goes until 6 p.m. tonight, and that's because, again, we are dealing with those strong wind gusts. Upwards of nearly 50 miles per hour is expected, and we're near there at this hour in Lone Rock, La Crosse. Everybody else is about 35 to 40, 45 miles per hour as we're continuing to usher in this cooler air. And these winds are going to be sticking around throughout the rest of the afternoon. The snow is going to taper off. Again, this is going to be minimal snow accumulations compared to what we may see this upcoming weekend. Armand and folks at home, we are going to time that out in the full forecast, likely going to begin later Friday night, wrapping up sometime Sunday. We'll talk about all that we know and don't know in just a few minutes.
All right, Blaze, thank you. And you can track the forecast for yourself on the First Warn Weather app. It has hourly planners, road conditions, and radar. You can download it for free in your phone's app store. Just search WISC Weather. And by all accounts, this is going to be a busy travel season. AAA projects today will bring the heaviest traffic of the Thanksgiving holiday weekend. Here's CBS correspondent Chris Van Cleve.
This fiery wreck delayed the Thanksgiving holiday rush for drivers along Interstate 95 in Virginia for hours Tuesday. State police say the tanker truck was carrying lime when it flipped over and caught fire. The driver suffered non-life-threatening injuries. And in Los Angeles, a long line of brake lights stretched across the interstates. AAA expects today will be the busiest day on the roads ahead of Thanksgiving, as more than 73 million people are expected to drive this year. Among them, the Kanth family driving from Atlanta to Nashville.
It would take longer to fly with taking an Uber to the airport or driving, parking, taking the plane train and all that and getting through TSA. So it's just faster to drive.
At the world's busiest airport in Atlanta, delays lingered Tuesday after a fast-moving thunderstorm forced a brief evacuation of the air traffic control tower.
Please move this way now.
In Nashville, it was a security concern that forced the evacuation of a packed terminal at the airport last night. After a quick sweep, the terminal reopened. At the Charlotte airport, signs warning drivers it could take 30 to 45 minutes just to get to the terminal. For travelers like Julie McAdams, those alerts proved true.
It took us over an hour to get here.
How long does it normally take?
25 minutes, 30 minutes, if I take the express lane.
All aboard!
Amtrak ridership is up 5% this year. Steve Sesh opted for the rails instead of the skies to get to family in Rhine Cliff, New York.
Things can happen in a small airport. There's no backup. And the trains just seem more relaxing. And I just like the idea of riding on the trains whenever we can.
When it comes to the trek home, AAA expects Sunday to be the busiest day on the roads. The airlines certainly expect Sunday to be the busiest day at the airport. If you haven't made that drive just yet, Thanksgiving morning might be your sweet spot. That tends to be one of the lowest volume travel days of the entire holiday. Chris Van Cleve, CBS News, on the road near Lexington, North Carolina.
Meanwhile, Wisconsin authorities are asking the state court to revoke the conditional release of the woman who, in 2014, almost killed her sixth-grade classmate in the name of the horror villain Slender Man and escaped from a group home earlier this week. Yesterday, Morgan Geyser did not fight her extradition to Wisconsin in a Chicago court, giving Wisconsin authorities 30 days to pick Geyser up. Today, a Waukesha County Circuit Court judge agreed to seal the petition filed by the Department of Corrections to revoke Geyser's conditional release. If Geyser's conditional release is revoked, she could be sent back to the mental institution where she spent most of the past 8 years. She also could face new charges in connection with her escape. And one person is hurt this morning after driving into the front part of an elementary school. The crash happened around 5:40 when an officer witnessed a vehicle traveling on North Grand Avenue in Sun Prairie, and it left the road, driving through a fence and crashed into the school. There were no classes scheduled for today, and no one was inside the building that was hit. First responders treated the driver, who police believe suffered a medical event prior to the crash. The Sun Prairie Building Inspection Department will follow up with inspections, while the Sun Prairie Area School District will communicate with community members on any impacts on school operations. And around 55 dogs are being cared for by the Greene County Humane Society after being rescued from neglect in Fayette. The Lafayette County Sheriff's Office discovered the dogs, some in neglect, with puppies still having umbilical cords attached. The shelter is at capacity and urgently needs donations. Visit their Facebook page for details on how you can help. And coming up next on News 3 Now at noon, infant formula maker ByHeart updates its refund policy, plus what the delayed September retail sales report is showing about consumer confidence.
The September retail sales report, delayed due to the government shutdown, showed a 0.2% increase in September over August, according to the Commerce Department. That's slightly below expectations. The new data comes as the latest consumer confidence reading from the Conference Board dropped to 88.7% in November, the lowest reading since April. The survey found that Americans are increasingly concerned over rising costs, the job market, tariffs, and politics due to the recent government shutdown. Infant formula maker ByHeart has updated its refund policy after revealing that all of its formula may have been contaminated with the bacteria that causes botulism. The company says it reached the conclusion after tests showed that 5 out of 36 samples from 3 product lots tested positive for the bacteria. The recalled formula has been linked to more than 30 cases of infant botulism in 15 states. ByHeart is urging customers to contact the company for a full refund for all formula purchased on or after August 1st of this year. And AMC Theaters is offering its rewards members a new popcorn pass. For $29.99 a year, moviegoers can get half off the price of one large popcorn per day at U.S. locations. The AMC Popcorn Pass is available starting December 1st, Cyber Monday. That's your CBS News Money Watch report. For more, log on to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the CBS Broadcast Center, I'm Jesse Mitchell.
And here's a look at the current stock numbers at the noon hour. The Dow is up 431 points, the Nasdaq up 227, and the S&P 500 is up 61. And our call for action volunteers are in the building, taking your consumer complaints and taking action on your behalf. You can call for action at 608-270-2833 or submit a claim anytime at channel3000.com/call for action. Pam has today's farm numbers next, and Blaze is tracking the first warn forecasts. And later on Live at 4, Lisa Briggs from the Bruce Company is here to answer your plant and garden questions. You can send them to tips@channel3000.com. Welcome back. Let's check in now with Pam Jahnke for the Midwest Farm Report. Pam, you're not in your normal location, are you?
You're right, Armin, and believe me, the surroundings starting to change right in front of my very eyes. We've got snow falling up here in Green Bay, so that's something that we are just first getting our glance at just right now. It hasn't been around, so I'm at my northern edge of the broadcast studio today and wishing everybody an early Thanksgiving. Tell you, the markets are kind of rallying today in Chicago, some of it based on potential news for China, and the other based on announcements yesterday from the U.S. Department of Agriculture. They rolling out stage 2 of the Supplemental Disaster Relief Program. This is a $16 billion offer from the U.S. Department of Agriculture. It goes back to covering losses that farmers might have experienced in both 2023 and 2024's growing season. Now, we don't know exactly what that's going to look like for a lot of Wisconsin farmers. The USDA undersecretary that's directing this program said best thing to do is schedule an appointment with your Farm Service Agency offices and let them walk you through any possibilities as far as supplemental assistance. Then we want to talk about tomorrow's big day. Cranberries, of course, are one of those staples we think about for Thanksgiving. Wisconsin cranberry growers have not had a real great year this year, according to our friend Grant Holly, who's the executive director of the Wisconsin Cranberry Association. Wisconsin's still going to lead all of North America in production, about 4.7 billion barrels that are going to be produced. We were 6 last year. Our average is about 5, so a little off. Grant says some of that Canadian smoke took the wind out of the sails of some of our cranberry production, and then we got that late surge of heat. Cranberries didn't know whether they should keep growing or start shutting down. So those are a couple of the elements that led to a little bit lower yield. But like I said, Grant says plenty available for Thanksgiving and well into 2026. And of course, one of the traditions right after the Thanksgiving meal is for a lot of folks to head out for their Christmas tree. And Wisconsin Christmas tree growers are ready. They want to see you, and they are plentiful as far as selection. Wisconsin Christmas tree growers rank 5th in the nation when it comes to overall volume. We'll harvest about 700,000 of those trees. And remember, a lot of different varieties out there. If you want to take a look at their website, find a grower near you. Every dollar spent helps to support our Wisconsin farm families that are still growing those trees. So that's something to think about. Markets today, like I said, they're a little stronger. The president's still saying that China is going to do good by some of the agreements they've made, specifically as far as soybeans. So we're up on the midday. Barrel cheese today in Chicago was unchanged at $1.58 a quarter. 40-pound block cheese down a half at $1.47. But double A butter today, Armand, up 2 at $1.45 per pound. So again, hoping everybody has a safe and thankful Thanksgiving tomorrow. I know this weather is tricky.
Definitely, but a lot to be thankful for, right, Pam?
Yeah.
All right, thank you. And it's time now for your certified most accurate forecast with First Warn meteorologist Blaise Keller. Blaise?
We have a lot to talk about, Armand. We have that alert day today for the strong winds. We also have to talk about, obviously, Thanksgiving and the weekend after that, when all of us are either sending our loved ones back home or we ourselves are heading back home. And that's roughly around the time that Mother Nature is looking to bring another system through the Midwest. Here's the current one, bringing us the breezy winds out of the northwest. The snow will taper off as we go throughout the rest of the day today, leading to more variable cloudy conditions on Thursday. Still breezy at times with a few flurries, but in comparison to the snowfall that we're seeing today, we're probably not going to see a whole lot on Thursday, Thanksgiving, or Black Friday. Black Friday, we are looking to stay, for the most part, cloudy, but our next system is gearing up as we go into the afternoon. Could be impacting us as early as late Friday night into early Saturday, and then this system will continue to impact us as we go throughout Saturday. Saturday night looks to be when it will really be at its peak, and then it will wind down as we go further into Sunday. Winds out of the south mean this is bringing a lot of moisture with it. This is almost taking the ideal path, this blue one here, for these Colorado lows. It's almost taking the ideal path that would lead to more significant snow here across central and southern Wisconsin. The closer we can essentially get it to move through the Chicagoland area, the better chance we're going to have of accumulating snow, because we got the southerly winds as it's moving into the area, and then as it exits, those winds will be off of Lake Michigan, bringing us yet another round of possibly that heavy snow. So this is what the path looks like as of this morning and this afternoon. This green one here, it really hasn't changed much between a lot of our long-range models, essentially taking it through Chicagoland or just to the south of it. Again, still in a pretty ideal placement. So let's jump ahead, future track, to Friday evening. There's that system moving on in. Now we're into Saturday night into Sunday. So this system is going to be impacting us through the upcoming weekend. If you're making travel plans now, if you're bringing in family or friends and you're wondering when is the best time to hit the road, I would say later Sunday. Saturday night, I would not do it. Saturday, I wouldn't do it either, especially if you're heading or sending family and friends back into parts of Illinois and Indiana. Further to the north and west, you'd be driving out of the worst conditions. But if you're heading south, you're going to be driving through the worst of the conditions in comparison. So we are now 1 to 3 days out. We're starting to obviously see more of the states impacted, looking like Wisconsin, the Dakotas, Minnesota, Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, and northern parts of Missouri. The path is becoming more clear, and it's likely not going to change drastically between now and this weekend. It'll move maybe north and south a little bit, but completely getting out of the Midwest, that's not going to happen. We're seeing the path pretty much becoming clearer and clearer. Snow totals from here on out, are also going to become more clear to us. It's still a little bit up in the air. I don't feel confident putting anything out there in any certainty, but I would say a widespread 3 to 6 is possible for those in the yellow and those especially in the red, which for now is looking like extreme southern parts of Wisconsin, parts of Iowa, southwestern Minnesota, north central and northern Illinois, Indiana, and Michigan. This is from Friday night through Sunday. It is going to be windy as well, and because that snow is going to be blowing around, we're going to expect some low visibilities for travel impacts, which is why we do have that second alert day for Saturday mainly, but I would put that as early as Friday night through possibly Sunday morning. Again, accumulating snow, this is going to be impacting travel. So, as I mentioned before, Armand, if you have to travel, I would send folks back either Friday, I know that's a little early, or wait until later Sunday. The heaviest snow is likely going to be Saturday into Saturday night. And then further next week, we do look to dry on out, but if we do get a decent amount of snow, it's really going to reinforce the cooler air sticking around throughout the upcoming work week. So stay with News 3 Now. We will keep you updated. We're going to have even more data come this afternoon into Thanksgiving. And of course, we want to make sure everybody is staying updated. Download the First Warn Weather app. Stay with us on social media. We'll keep you updated there as well.
Timing could not be worse, right, boys?
Really, it could not be. So blame Mother Nature. Please don't blame myself or Alex or anybody here at News 3 Now, especially the meteorologists.
I'll put in a good word. Thank you, Blaze. And coming up next, a nutrition coach will show us how to make a healthy Thanksgiving meal. The countdown to the holiday is on. Our Kyrian Lee talked with a nutrition coach who shows us an easy, healthy Thanksgiving meal.
Thanksgiving is right around the corner, and if you're not cooking for a lot of people and want to keep things simple, nutrition coach Zaja Billingsley has you covered. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me again.
So what are we making today?
Okay, so we have a Spanish-style slow cooker green beans. We have turkey breast. And then we have baked sweet potatoes.
Okay, so pretty simple, especially for people who may just be having a small gathering or, you know, just themselves.
Yes, so sweet potatoes are high in vitamin A, which is very crucial for, you know, your immune system. If you're around a lot of people, for either family members, friends, or, you know, if you're volunteering, it's good to keep, you know, immune system running properly. Then we have the turkey, which is a lean protein source. It cooks faster than a full turkey as well. So that's the quick part. It can be put in the air fryer, in the oven, slow cooker, wherever you want to put it. And then the green beans are just a good vegetable source. So there are tomatoes in here, onions, garlic, there's oregano, salt and pepper, red pepper flakes, and cayenne pepper. So if you are heavy-handed, please take it easy because they can get very spicy.
So what do you like to add to your sweet potatoes here?
So sweet potatoes, I prefer, since the sweet potato is already sweet, I prefer sweet and savory. So I will either add some sour cream, or if you want to make it high protein, you can add Greek yogurt. So some sour cream in there. Popcorn seasoning. This is ranch flavored. It's kind of my go-to for anything that needs a little bit of flavor to it.
Okay.
And then, of course, onions, mushrooms, anything else that you might want to add to it. I prefer it a little bit simpler. So
yes. And then we have the turkey breast here.
Yes, turkey breast. If you brine it, it won't be dry. I love a lot of protein, so of course I'm going to give myself a bigger serving.
Yes.
And then the green beans.
Lastly.
Yes, they have bacon in them as well. I forgot to mention that.
So more protein.
Yes. So if you would like to add bacon on top of these after it's already been cooked, there you go.
All right, so does this give us a pretty balanced plate?
Yes, it has a good amount of carbs. It has a high amount of protein, and then fiber is up there. We all need 22 grams a day, and this will get you about halfway there.
All right, easy and get you ready for the holiday. Well, Zaja, we want to thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here. So.
And we will share this full recipe over on our website. That's channel3000.com.
Windy conditions today for our alert day. We dry out, but still remain cloudy for Thanksgiving and Black Friday. But then we're tracking another round of snow as we head into the weekend with alert day conditions possible Saturday. Make sure you're tuning in tonight at Live at 4 for the latest forecast.